Yo, what is going on? PartTimerZack here. In today's video, we're going to be checking out more Punishing Gray Raven and just kind of navigating the Frozen event and kind of talking about what I feel like a lot of people should focus on and what I'm going to be prioritizing myself. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to talk about the weekly top-ups. Make sure to grab those if you haven't already. Also, grab your bounty missions if you haven't done that already, and then make sure to do them because I forgot to do one of them last week. So unfortunately, that is a thing. Now, another thing is they actually have two different rewards running right now. So they have the daily login, which you're going to get some construct cards, and then they also have the Frozen stuff. So make sure to log in as well because you do get a couple different things from it. And then you get 250 premium supply cards, which is just one pull, but definitely helps out quite a bit whenever you're in the grand scheme of things. And then make sure to check your mailbox if you haven't already, because that's where your 500 is going to be. Wherever mine went, I already went ahead and claimed it, but it should already be in there. So make sure to grab that as well. Now let's go ahead and navigate the overall Frozen event. So I was a little bit wrong about the story. It doesn't look like you actually have to clear chapter 8. Looks like it's going to be in its own little thing. So if you guys are struggling a little bit with the overall story, you can definitely jump in here. And from what I understand, it doesn't matter too much about your BP, mainly because you're just playing as alpha, from what I can tell anyway. And here are your rewards. So it's 30 BC per clear, and then 50 of these Reginate HE4s, which are going to be used in the shop, and then a couple different resources. So if we go into battle preparations, as you can see, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about my BC or BP. Then you're able to play as alpha. So if you're a little bit on the fence, you can definitely check her out. It looks like she actually has her signature weapon. I'm not necessarily sure if that's what she has when she goes into it, but this gives you a little bit of a glimpse in case you're on the fence. You don't necessarily know if you want to roll for her. This is definitely something to check out, as well as her interlude. So the interlude here, the thing that kind of confused me is this actually takes the place of Lucia. And so whenever you go in here at first, it looks like you're cleared. And then there's actually a tab here that goes into alpha stuff. So if you're kind of confused at first or whatever, when you're navigating through this, make sure you go down here and click the tab because this is actually alpha stuff. And then you work it through there and you're able to get some different currency as well. So make sure you're kind of doing these for the BC, especially right before alpha. When she drops tomorrow, it'll give you a little bit of time to get all this stuff done. So you have the most BP you can, or your BC that you can kind of have going into alpha. Cam, kind of a similar story here. If you're kind of on the fence about a Cam, or you don't know if you necessarily want to roll for him or want him anyway, definitely the same thing here. You get quite a bit of currency and you're able to work your way through it and play as him if you want to. So that is something to definitely check out for both of these. If you haven't already done any of these, make sure to just do them all because they all do the same thing. So there are some that I kind of need to work on and focus on, but this is something that I feel like a lot of people may neglect or kind of forget. So make sure to jump in here. Even if you have a character that you've played before, it definitely helps out with the BC currency. The next thing is going to be the co-op. So it only opens up during a certain time. I will be playing it when it opens up for me. I think it's at noon, and I'm recording this at 11 a.m. So right after this video, I probably will jump in here and see if I can't get a couple runs for co-op. And then that's probably going to give you the 21. I'm guessing you're going to have to do 21 runs. I'm not necessarily sure, but if it's anything like the normal co-op, I would assume that it is the 21 runs, and then you have some different currencies. Now, I don't know if it's going to give you the Reginate stuff or it's actually going to give you your weapon shards. I'm hoping for the weapon shards, honestly, because it gives you two different ways to do it, because the other co-op is also running as well. So that will definitely help out with that. The other thing is the Arctic. This is going to essentially be your resource runs. And as you can see, you get some BC from that. Also, you get quite a bit of Reginate HE4. And so you're able to kind of grind through it. Now, this is a first time reward, so I don't necessarily know if you're able to keep going and keep playing. I guess I would have to kind of check it out. And then you do have the shop down here and down below. And then this one here actually opens up on the 10th. So you're not actually able to play it right now. And then this is your overall missions, like just as you're progressing through stuff. From what I understand, though, I don't see any BC in here. I just see a lot of that Reginate stuff. So it looks like you're actually going to be able to grind that. But I don't see any BC for the actual, like, just daily missions, essentially, or not really daily missions, but event missions, essentially. And so I'm not able to see anything in there. Now, the Arctic shop is something I really kind of want to talk about, mainly because I feel like they kind of got confused or they changed the name. So Patton, I'm pretty sure she was Barton. So Barton and her are the same character, I'm pretty sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like 99% sure that this is actually Barton. For some reason, they changed it to Patton. I'm not necessarily sure, but she's actually really cool. And it might actually change the way that I want my set to go, because I didn't realize that Barton wasn't in the game yet, and she was actually launching for the event. And so I wasn't able to find much information about her, but I think I might run her into Frederick. I'm not necessarily sure, mainly because each time you deal physical damage, if not a crit hit, then the crit rate of the next physical damage is increased by 2, stacking up to a maximum of 20%. This effect is reset when you deal a crit hit. Crit hit increases damage, physical damage by 5% for 3 seconds and can be stacked up to 3 times. So you can see that you start to get like a crit kind of bonus, and you can kind of start stacking that. So it's actually really cool, especially with somebody like Frederick, which gives you a little bit of time and a little bit more damage as well. So if you end up getting Cam A, you can go in here and purchase the shards. Now, from what I understand, it's a 1:55 ratio, meaning that for every one card, you're going to have to spend 55 of the Reginate. So definitely keep that in mind whenever you're going for it. They do have 30 in stock though. so you have a little bit of time. But I would definitely kind of grind up these memories because they're going to cost probably the most, and then go into grabbing stuff like these shards and then anything else. So if you have any leftover currency after the 36 days, definitely just jump in here right before it and just try to spend as much as you can, because whenever it converts, it's probably going to go into the cogs, and you probably just want to use it for something else. Like for example, 40 of them are like 50,000 cogs. You just want to make sure that you're kind of converting if you can anyway. And then there's other stuff in here like overclock materials, memory enhancers, and stuff like that. So if you are running low on those and you have quite a bit of this currency, definitely jump in those and grab these. And then they have some different accessories and stuff like that you can give as gifts for your characters if you want to. So that's kind of the overall premise of it. What I'm going to be working on, I think, is probably working through the main story and then going to the interlude. And then I'm going to be like kind of going in here and kind of seeing what's on about this, because I want to see if it's like a resource thing, if I can just keep grinding it, because this does say first time reward. So I'm not necessarily sure if it's like a one and done type of thing, but I would kind of imagine that it's not, or at least it keeps progressing, because S1 gives me the idea that it's S2, S3, S4, S4, like, you know what I mean? And kind of going from there. And then you're able to switch to challenge, which is actually like a little bit more, as you can see, the 30 here, and then you get a little bit more regiment. So I'm not necessarily sure if this is like a one and done type of thing as you kind of work through it. But I would definitely have to kind of check it out as I progress. So the first thing I'm going to be working on is probably the story. If co-op opens, I think I'm going to try to see what it's like and structured like, and then probably run a couple bit. I don't know if I'm going to run the whole 21 runs, because it's essentially all of my stamina, and I really kind of want to work through a lot of this stuff, especially the stuff that gives me BC, because I want to make sure that I have enough for alpha. And so what I recommend is just running through the stuff that definitely gives you BC, like this, 30, the interludes give you 30 per, and just kind of working through there. So interlude actually doesn't use any stamina, so I guess you don't really have to worry about that, but it does kind of help you out when you're getting, your BC and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be mainly focusing on, mainly because I just want to make sure to get the weapon and the alpha right at the get-go, and I don't want to really have to worry about coming back and grinding. So that's definitely what I'm going to be working on, and then kind of dipping into co-op and seeing what it's kind of structured. And then obviously we'll jump into the battle with Rosetta whenever she opens up on the 10th. So that's kind of like my recommendation, what I'm going to be kind of doing. So as far as like the stamina goes, from what I understand, they give you one a day and it lasts 19 days. So you don't necessarily have to use it right at the get-go. These ones, I have 10 of them, but I have had them for like 20 days. And so I definitely need to run through them tonight. I've been kind of worried, like waiting for the event to drop. And luckily I have a day to do it essentially, but it looks like they give you one a day and it lasts about 19 days. So overall, I think it's a really cool event. I'm really happy to kind of get into it and see what we can kind of do. If you have any questions or anything you kind of want me to cover specifically, definitely let me know down in the comments. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.